Hello and welcome to the Bot Box. So I guess I'll have to start off by explaining what this robot is before explaining the name. Bondi Titch was a green and yellow wedge hammerbot with a silver and red front end. Basically, all background, one part was green, one part was silver, and the text on the green section was yellow and the silver section was red. Just to quickly clarify. It had some Australian sayings, and of course, hammer. Very much like a judge's gavel, which is not the kind of hammer you see very often. Bondi Titch's team were Australian, I assume, or Bondi Titch, as it was constantly pronounced on wherever it was. Bondi Titch, I assume, was named for Bondi Beach, near Sydney. Bondi Titch's team were Australian. The bot itself was actually a stock robot that was specifically built for the Commonwealth Challenge in the second series of Robot Wars Extreme. And it was driven by, like I said, a team were from Australia, they were from Brisbane, and the driver got the role of driving Bondi Titch in the contest. Though I have to note that Brisbane is actually nowhere near Bondi Beach. It's just under 570 miles away from it. So over to fighting in the Commonwealth Carnage, where Bondi Titch fought for body spinner, corkscrew and two flippers in World War III and Firestorm 4. World War III also had a spinner on it. A spinner of the bar persuasion, slightly angled. Bondi Titch barely got into battle when it had to deal with World War's tool being flipped by Firestorm 4, and at one point it get landed on. Bondi Titch then went out of focus as Firestorm 4 flipped World War 3 out of the arena. And again, most things go out of focus when a robot is getting flipped out of the arena. So Bondi Titch opened the pit with Firestorm 4's help, but was not holding out so well. It looked like it was actually close to being immobilised. Then Corkscrew came along and compounded Bondi Titch's trouble by attacking and removing one of the rear panels, the one that had G'day written on it. Bondi Titch did land a hammer blow on Corkscrew, not that it did anything, but Firestorm 4 showed up and flipped Bondi Titch several times, intent on getting Bondi Titch out of the arena, which would be merciful. You don't get attacked by house robots when you're outside the arena itself. Of course, you're out of the competition then, which is not good. Instead, both robots ended up with Matilda. Bondi Titch tried to hammer Matilda, but missed, and the Australians' cause wasn't helped by Mr. Psycho rocking up hammer and all. Bondi Titch got hammered, and then tried to hammer Mr. Psycho, but missed. Only for Firestorm 4 to show up and flip Bondi Titch out of the arena. Needless to say, this was Bondi Titch's only appearance in Robot Wars. Bondi Titch, again, it's another one that's hard to judge because it had the one fight, but it was already a flawed robot. Its weapon lacked power, and the driver hadn't had enough time to practice driving. He didn't do it. He didn't do the worst job. There'd been worse driving. He didn't drive into the pit, but there were nerves in battle, and it was clear. With more time to settle the nerves, he may well have done a better job. And he may well have done a better job had he had his own robot. However, I do have to commend the bravery it took to attack robots against which, on paper and in practice, Bondi Titch stood no chance against, namely Matilda and Mr. Psycho. Take some nerve to try when you've had virtually no practice driving and are pretty much going out of the competition in the first round anyway. I can't blame the team themselves for Bondi Titch's faults. Why they ended up with a stock robot instead of getting a chance to enter a robot they themselves had made, I don't know. All I can assume is they didn't want to repeat of what happened to Terra Australis in Series 3, travelling thousands of miles only to find your robot can't work, and then they were only saved by the kindness of Team Nemesis. What I can say is, though, I do like the look of Bondi Titch's hammer. If it had more power, it could have caused some blunt force trauma to the innards of the robots, because it would have caused quite a shock. But it wouldn't have caused the visible damage that would have been judges' decisions, which is why I don't think we see that kind of hammer that much. Maybe it's just me. Anyway. Who's next? Taiki, please be kind. I swear this just tied down my finger. It's already unfolded. I must have folded it badly. Well, this sounds like a make of washing machine. Whirlpool 70. Until next week, Callison244 out.